AIM-listed Golden Saint Resources recently raised new money to allow it to proceed with work on its Sierra Leone diamond prospect. Well, today I am very pleased to welcome Finance Director Keng Seah to find out more. Hello,
Morning,
Keng.
Charlotte. Morning, Charlotte.
Thank you very
for
much.
Having me.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure. Now, Keng, you are just back from a visit on site in Sierra Leone.
Right.
So can you tell us how operations on the ground are progressing currently?
Certainly. Well, the site visit itself was very productive, and we're very happy with what we saw. In terms of being on the ground, you gain a much deeper understanding of how things are actually progressing. We saw the installation of the Dove Explorer. We talked with the villagers and we interacted with the village chiefs as well. So generally, with all these interactions and managing that relationships, we find that we can have better ways to actually operate more efficiently, actually. Suggestions from the people about how we can do things better, mechanization and so on and so forth. And basically, you can actually just feel the air of optimism there with our people, and that's fantastic. With the technical expertise that we got from acquired with engaging Rock Forage, our technical consultants, we can actually see the positive results coming through already. The installation of the Dove was modified actually, and the modification did produce positive results, really. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the modifications to the Dove Explorer? Why did you do it, and what will it allow you to do?
Right, Charlotte, without going into the technical details itself, basically what the modification did was it allowed us to add some components to the Dove Explorer. And what it basically does is to remove the excessive clay from the gravels that we're about to wash. So when you put in the gravels, instead of washing clay, you want to just wash gravel. And that modification, will make the process of washing more efficient. And it will actually, minimize stoppages during the process of washing. Yeah.
You have mentioned the work that geological consultants, Rock Forage, have started on site.
Yes.
What do they plan to do overall?
Right. Now, they will be supervising and monitoring the washing whilst in progress. That's one. That's at Tongo, where the Dove Explorer is. And at the same time, they will be looking to work with our team to come up with an action plan as to how we're going to wash the next stockpile in our next site at Baja. So it looks fairly simple, but it can be tricky when you're actually on the ground itself. Then there's Moa. That's an area that generally unexplored, and we, with the dredging techniques that they are actually proposing, we are seriously considering. Nothing cast in stone at this point in time, but something worthwhile thinking about. But last but not least, I think with Rock Forage, after the visit, we like to be able to devise and formulate a mining strategy, a sound strategy that will actually deliver positive outcomes for all our stakeholders. Yeah.
I've mentioned earlier this recent fundraise of £536,000. Quite an achievement for a junior diamond explorer like you in the current market conditions. So how do you plan to use this capital?
Well, the operations itself, the priority is actually for the operations. This money will be used predominantly for that. We're going to have to pay the casual workers, the staff salaries. We're going to have to pay things like fuel, and more importantly, for the license renewal fees, right? Then we need to pay for base rent for the base camps that we actually hire whilst our people are working there. So it does add up actually. So running an operations, So those are and security. Actually, I forgot to mention that's a very important issue. Security, being in diamonds and gold, you need to have that in place. Yeah.
Now, Keng, I'd like to discuss the recent board changes. Since Cyril De Silva, your chief executive, stepped down, have you been looking for a replacement? Tell me about the progress you've made on that front.
Well, we did announce early part of this year, Cyril stepped down from the board as well as the CEO position for personal reasons. And we did say that we will be looking for someone to replace him. Well, we've got to find someone with the right experience and who is possibly prepared to actually stay on a permanent basis, generally permanent basis in Sierra Leone. I mean, generally one would agree with me that if you are not on the site, it's very hard to manage. So, we like this person to be more permanent there, right? In the meantime, the duties of the CEO are currently shared between the existing board members, David, Mr. Alimami Wuri, and myself. Yeah.
And how are you all coping with the situation then?
Oh, we cope. It's all right. It's manageable, but not as good as having a full-time CEO there on the site itself. But like I said, we are currently exploring that. So when the time is right, we will hire that CEO.
But Cyril is actually still working for the company as an external consultant,
Correct.
isn't he? And he's actually helped the company with fundraising,
Yeah.
and he's also helped create a solid investor base in Australia and in Asia. Can you tell us a bit
Sure.
more about that?
Cyril is actually the original founder of the company. And along with him, he's developed this fairly significant base of solid investors coming out from Asia initially, and then Australia, and now we have UK as well. We are very glad that these investors that Cyril has brought to the company, they are long-term investors who see value in what the company Golden Saint is doing, actually. So that's good as compared to short-term traders, really. Because with this continuing support, we will be able to continue with the operations itself.
And Keng, to finish with, in terms
Yes.
of upcoming news,
Yes.
news flow and updates, what
Yeah.
can we expect?
Well, we did say that we will update the market in terms of the license renewal. We did say that we are most likely to accept the licenses, and we're now just waiting for the Ministry of Mines to come back to us, right? So, and after rock forage visit, we certainly will. We intend to provide a market update of the operations. Yep. Look, Charlotte, we endeavor to update the market as often as possible, and especially when there are significant developments. Yeah.
All right, Keng, thank you very much for the visit today.
Thank you, Charlotte, for having me.
Keng Seah, Finance Director at Golden Saint Resources.